season. I was so pissed when he got me into My Hero Academia, and I was so
Yeah.
pissed.
Oh,
The first season
I
ended.
love My Hero.
Oh, the first season ended, and I was like, it ends on like they all end on a cliffhanger, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
oh cool. So next episode then, and he was like, oh no, there are none. You have to wait for the next season. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean I have to wait? I don't want to wait. I want to be done.
Let's be best friends.
Hello, I'm Cole Sauer, and welcome to Let's Be Best Friends, a podcast where I talk to people that I barely know, because in times like these, who needs enemies? My guest today is a fellow Toronto comedian, a cosplayer, and officially bigger than me on TikTok. It's Sarah Ashby.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You know what's funny is every time I start the show with hello, how are you? And I remember that I also start every conversation with hello, how are you? So I end up having the exact same conversation twice with every single guest I have. So I am good. Welcome to the show. We're very excited to have you here. And today we're doing something that is very exciting for me. Very exciting. People who have watched the show before may know that we've done a few makeup looks in the past. We've done some more hands-on crafty stuff, and today is no exception because, as any of you watching at home will know, and I know, Sarah, this is your first time being on the show, here at Let's Be Best Friends, we like to try and make sure the conversation is as cool, clean, and comfortable as possible, and we like to do that by doing a little activity with the guests at the same time, something that they're into, a hobby of theirs. And when we were figuring it out, you made an amazing suggestion to try and do one of your series of Pokemon eye makeup looks you've been doing that I love so much on Instagram, and I'm fucking so jazzed. I am going to need to be babied through some of this. It's been probably about a year since I've done any eye makeup whatsoever.
Of course, yeah.
But I've got brushes. I've got some concealer that probably isn't the right color anymore because I haven't left my house in like a year and a half. But you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it'll work. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Amazing.
So let's start with so what got you into the idea of doing the Pokemon eye makeup looks? Because it's like I said, if you guys aren't already, go to Instagrams at Sarah and Ashby. Go check them all out. They're fucking phenomenal. So what got you started in all that?
Yeah. So basically during the pandemic, like you said, got really into TikTok, just watching it at first because I was like, oh, this is great. It's for the youth. Amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
For the youth.
So going on there and seeing so many people doing, inspirations for like outfits or inspirations based off of like different kinds of cartoon characters. And I was like, that's so great. And that's so fun. That's something I would definitely want to do. But like, I'm like, what could I do? I don't have I have a huge wardrobe, I'll say, but I do have a lot of makeup and a lot of time on my hands. And I was like, well, I love Pokemon. And how many Pokemon are there? Well, there's 150 and more to see. So why not try to do, I know.
And to catch them all is your destiny.
Exactly. So I just kind of like started out as like, oh, I'll try a few things. And then it got like more intricate. And then I was like, okay, well, if I want to do it, I want to do it like a little bit bigger. So try and take more risks, which led into cosplays and things. And so it's been like a cool, interesting like route down it. But all started with just being a little nerdy kid being like, oh, well, why not?
So like, is makeup art something that you've always been kind of into, or was it something you just kind of got more into during the pandemic?
Definitely got more into it during the pandemic. I used to obviously do like theater and stuff back in the day. So always had makeup involved in my life somehow, and drag and all that as well. Huge fan, obviously, of drag and the performers of it. It's so incredible. And like through that as well, it kind of got me more into makeups and more into that stuff. And seeing also just the intersections of the world of cosplay and drag really just like opened my eyes to the idea of like, oh, you can do things that are either inspired by or like a reference to rather than an exact carbon copy of. And I think that's like been such like a cool and eye-opening thing that like I never even realized you could have that much fun with makeup.
I love that because I love that people have gotten into not only like new hobbies, but just like new, like completely different like interests and completely different communities. I think it's so sick anytime I hear anyone talking about it. Is cosplay something that you were interested in at all beforehand, or was it really like kind of like a one into the next kind of deal for you?
Yeah, definitely kind of like a one in the next. I'd always like admired people who, had done it and could do the like crafting, especially of it or the sewing of it. Like always seeing people going to like, Anime Norths or Comic Cons or just like even online. Like I was a big Tumblr kid, so always would see people at their different cons and their different outfits and everything. So always been a huge fan of it from afar, but never like really dove in until during the pandemic when I was like, okay, well, why not?
Did you go to any conventions before? Obviously, no conventions have been running lately, but did you ever go to any other conventions?
No, I never did. I was gonna like hopefully get into it more when everything happened.
That's exciting.
I know. I'm like a very timid, I'll say like nerd of like I love everything. I've just never experienced everything.
Yeah. Oh, that's exciting. I can't wait for the cons to start back up because I love going to conventions, and now that I have like such an incredibly small amount of internet clout, can't wait. I cannot wait. So let's get started.
Amazing.
So I have, like I said, I have old, probably discolored concealer here. I used to have a fucking like a little spongy guy. Like a little eye spongy guy that I don't have anymore. So I'm just gonna use my finger like an adult.
Very fair. Yeah, that's totally fine. Sometimes I find even using your fingers makes things like 20 times easier. It just gives you like more natural. I can't remember who I was watching. I think it was Farrah Moan, a drag queen, doing her makeup once. And she was like, I do my makeup really weird, and was just using her finger the whole time to blend. Yeah. And for her, it worked perfectly. So I was like, oh, I'll try it one day. And so every once in a while now I'm like, okay, if I can't get it right, I'll just like dab, 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 dab. Oh, okay, perfect. It's good. Like, easy peasy.
I love that because that's literally how I've I want to say always done it, but like, obviously makeup has not been something that has been a huge concern of mine my whole life. As a cis male, it's never really been something I've been terribly stressed about in my life.
Oh yeah.
So were you always like a makeup type kid? Were you into the like dressing up? Have you always been more into doing makeup, or was it just like you started doing these Pokemon things and were like, oh no, dude, makeup art is super sick?
I have as a kid growing up, we used to have like a huge costume chest.
Oh, sick.
That had all of our Halloween costumes or things that we had for school or things that we made for like just fun or whatever. So we would always do little things or make little videos and like make characters and things like that.
Oh, that's so
always
sick.
used to like dress up and stuff. And I remember one birthday we did like a makeup theme party. So we just got one of those giant boxes you get at like Sears for like $10. Yeah.
The classic.
So like we got that, and we got like a lipstick and an eyeshadow. So it was like perfect and very nice. So yeah, it's always been something that I've like, again, kind of like one of those things that I've always like admired from afar, but was too scared to really ever take a bigger leap into. Like I was even like trying to compare just because it's been a whole Halloween since I began doing this stuff. So I was like, oh, I'll check back and see what my old kind of makeups used to be like, especially with Pokemon stuff. And it's like a world of difference.
Yeah, night and day, right?
Here. And then I was like, okay, maybe I'll look even further back and even further back. It's like, oh my God, yeah, I was just doing like, I remember I was like, I had one eyeshadow on and just like the smallest amount of eyeliner. And like my eyebrows would be the most done thing on my face. And it's like, wow, like world of difference.
Well, it's hard too, because I know you've got incredibly bright blonde hair. So I know that like, I'm sure one of the first things you ever learned was like, okay, I got to draw these eyebrows on. I got to make them look good.
Oh, exactly. And way back in the day too, I've had like an array of different colors of hair. I had like that like reddish purple at one point.
Nice.
I had the brown. So imagine, like dark brown hair, but like no eyebrows. So you have to like come on every single day.
The true Tumblr style, the true Tumblr art style.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, how do I be Zooey Deschanel without being
Zooey
Deschanel?
Yes. Yes.
So I'd be like, don't compare me to her, but then looking all like a carbon copy almost.
Yeah.
Like, okay, come on.
I love the idea of you just being young and being like, don't compare me to her, but please compare me to her. Please.
Yeah, exactly.
Please. I crave it so deeply. Oh, okay. I've successfully hidden the horrible dark circles under my eyes.
Oh,
love that. The years of wear and tear on my body have been hidden. What do you do? So take me through your process here. What's the process?
Yeah. So I do my makeup in a very like I like to like do messy and then clean it up almost, if that
Love
makes
that.
sense.
Love that.
So normally what I would see is people try to start with like their foundation and everything, kind of like let it set.
Yeah.
But what I do instead is I start with my eyes and do like all around, do like the actual eyeshadow, get
Okay.
that part finished, and then fill in everything else after.
Sweet.
So
I love that.
yeah, so I'm gonna start with the eyes first.
Okay.
And what I want to do is, because we are doing your favorite Pokemon today,
Yes.
Torkoal,
I didn't even mention
which
it.
is amazing.
I've got my little sample here.
Perfect. Amazing. So yeah, today I'm thinking what we can do is I'm going to use some oranges, obviously, for the body.
Right.
Going to use a little bit of gray, just kind of like in the corner, just to give
Okay.
a little bit of a darkened kind of like look there.
Okay.
I got a nice new red that I definitely want to try as well. So we're going to kind of keep nice warm colors. But yeah, I'm just going to start kind of basically with like a little bit of a lighter orange. I'll just show
Wicked.
too. I guess I can do like, I don't know if we're allowed to show brands or anything, but I always use like ColourPop Cosmetics is great. But
Love that. I
yeah.
shout out to my roommate. I am using all of her eye makeup. I have the Sailor Moon ColourPop palette.
Oh,
That has
amazing.
the. I don't think you can't do the holographic on. Whatever. Fuck it.
Fair, yeah.
I
got
don't
my, like,
own orange, so I am mixing
That's
yellow
fair.
and pink.
Perfect. Pink is perfect. I'm just gonna use my also ColourPop Fade into Hue. They have like all
Oh
the
Jesus
colors
Christ!
of the rainbow.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, huge fan of theirs. Great company. Any place that is cruelty free and vegan and has like the pigment that they have, I'm always just like amazing.
Yeah, we
Like,
love
so-
we love cruelty free in this household.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm just gonna start with probably what I would consider the lighter color that I'm gonna use, and just kind of go around near the top and like out, just so that way it kind of makes the barrier of the where it's going to be going.
Okay, I look forward to seeing the difference between yours, which is going to look awesome because you've been doing this. How many days have you been doing it? Because you've been posting, I think, at least one a day.
Yeah, so I try to do at least 2 or 3 a week if I can, and then
Mhm.
also a cosplay or a different kind of makeup. But I've been doing this now for a little over a year and a half almost now.
Damn. Okay.
I'm trying to think, yeah. So it's really been great, and I really like the idea of just like practicing makeup basically. And like this is such a great way to just do it with like different, like palettes and styles, because like I find after a while I just get stuck in the same pattern of like, oh, I'll just do tonight, I'll do like a blue shadow and it'll fade out, or I'll do a purple, or I'll just go with a nude or whatever. But this one was great for challenging the ideas of like, okay, well, you're going to mix a lot of bright colors, you're going to mix a lot of dull colors, or you're going to try to like make a more intricate looking sort of thing. So that's where I was like, okay, this is going to start to be kind of a challenge, especially with I've been finding too, trying to keep it fresh with Pokemon who might have similar color palettes. So ones that are like the fire starter types, you get a lot of similar,
A
like
lot
the
of
reds
red
and
and
oranges
orange, and yeah.
exactly. And like the water types are great because a lot of them do mix some green in with some blue and some purple and all of that. And the grass types especially are great too with the poison mixtures and stuff as well. But it's been very fun and very cool to try some stuff out.
So where do you get do you have kind of like a mental list of like the Pokemon you want, or do you just take a look at the list and go like, fuck it, Arbok's cool, I like Arbok, and you just take that?
Yeah, so I have right now a little like file in my phone of pictures of Pokemon that I definitely want to get to.
Right.
But there'll be some days where literally I'll just be sitting and thinking and be like, okay, like I want either like one of this color, or I haven't done this type in a while. And I'll just kind of like go on the Bulbapedia, which is like a PDF.
The
Pokemon.
greatest website of all time, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And just like look things up. So I'll either go by types, or I'll go by color, or I'll go by stats or things like that. So, and one thing I completely forgot about at one point was all the legendary types, because I've been so focused on just trying to do, the more memorable ones. So always, starter types and things like that. But as soon as I started looking, more into like the different kinds of colors and stuff, I was like, oh my goodness, right. Like there's so many, and you forget that there's like the secondary ones that are part of the story too. Like you got, your legendary dogs, but then you also got the legendary birds, and you got the other legendary birds, and like the rocks, and like so many other things.
Have there been any that you've snuck in that you've been like, this one's for Sarah? Like, fuck the algorithm. I don't need the starters. I don't need Pikachu, but this one's for Sarah. Like,
I feel like there was one that I did during spooky season or spooky season that oh, who was it? I think the Sable Eye one that I did where I drew a huge mouth on myself.
Yeah.
That one I was like, I'm just gonna do something weird. I'm gonna go for I'll put the ears on and I'll like do the prosthetic stuff.
Yeah.
Get my eyes all silly. That one I really, really liked doing. And was definitely kind of a for me one. So that one was really great to do. And I kind of want to try to do something more with that as well.
Yeah. So when you're coming up with it, do you ever like have there been any Pokemon that you've looked at and been like, oh, I really want to do that, but you just haven't quite figured out like kind of how you're gonna do it? Because I imagine, like, you know, you brought up an interesting point about color palettes, like especially you look at like poison types. I think is a good example where like fucking 90% of them are purple. Like
exactly. Yeah, definitely. I want to do Ekans or Arbok. Try to do either a combination of them or them separately, and then also Coughing and Wheezing because they're the iconic villain Pokemon. Yeah. I love them. They're so funny. So they're two that are incredibly like Coughing's just purple with smoke.
Yeah. And like little craters. I feel like it'd be really hard to
exactly. So it's like the idea could either be very, like an intricate sort of trying to do craters all over or try to make like a smoke illusion. And then the pattern even on Arbok is like very beautiful on the neck area.
Yeah.
So it's like trying to combine that with a purple is almost like I would have to block out my brows and do it like huge and then do like do a full drag face almost.
That's exactly where my head. I was like, you could almost do like a full drag type beat.
Exactly.
That could be kind of cool.
Exactly. But like, yeah, those two definitely are ones that I really want to get to. And then a lot I've been finding of human people, because I'll normally once in a while ask for some suggestions to help like get my inspiration going.
Yeah.
And I find a lot of people want to see like a Nurse Joy or an Officer Jenny or a Professor Oak or like things like that. And so I've done a couple where I've done Brock and I've done Misty, but the other ones are kind of harder because if I really want to do a Nurse Joy, but I want to get it like perfect. So I want like the wig and I want the outfit and I want it to look very nice. So okay, that one's going to be an investment.
Okay, I've applied a vague orange tint.
Perfect. So that's going to be like basically our base for what we're going to build off of, and then we'll come back and do a little bit more after. But I'm going to start now with the gray. Okay. Or if you have like a darker color of any kind, that'll work.
I got that on lock. Literally, she gave me I have like 6 palettes just sitting on my desk.
Oh, incredible. Perfect.
She literally just
I jumped back and forth from so many. I have a little elf palette here now too. So that's where I'm going to use my like dark gray from. Oops, there we go. And then I'm just going to do kind of like, I almost say like, it's almost like where your eyeliner would go if you're doing a cat eye. Okay. And it's just to like make your, like eyelids look a little bit more.
I honestly love doing the makeup episodes of this show, or any chance I get to do something like this, because like I swear to God I try, but it will always look worse.
Of course. Well, like that's even been it too, that I've started to realize of like, I was like, wow, I'm just like, I must be getting like better at this. And it's like, yeah, of course, if you're doing it, 3-4 times a week and you're doing like either different or similar styles, you're going to start getting used to the way it goes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and have you noticed that it's made you like do more on a day-to-day? Like, do you take these inspirations into your day-to-day a little bit more and go like, you know what, maybe I'll put on a little bit more today. Maybe I'll go, you pull the inspiration from all the makeup work you've been doing?
Oh, definitely. I now when I do comedy shows and stuff, I'm like, okay, I got to do like something nicer, because I used to like when I do comedy and sometimes still I try to like dull it down a little bit more and try to be like, oh, just look more like calm, I'll say, in the face. less extra. Exactly. Yeah. But then I would find, I'd start going out places and people would start being like, oh, like, I love that makeup you did the other day on your Instagram, or, oh, I remember I saw you doing this. I thought it was really cool. And I was like, yeah, like if I'm spending all this time anyway doing it just for myself, I might as well enjoy doing it and then going out or something. So definitely I like bringing it more on stage now and being able to show off a little bit more. And just definitely an in my own head sort of thing of you always are like, oh, you don't know how to relate to the audience if I'm like in clown makeup, like, you know.
That's what you gotta start doing. You gotta hold like a Twitter poll before you go for the show and just be like, hey guys,
Exactly.
what Pokemon am I gonna be on stage tonight?
Yeah, who do you want to see? Buy tickets.
So that's a perfect segue. You're making my job so easy. Let's talk about comedy. What got you into comedy? How long you been doing it? Let's start with how long you've been doing it, and then what got you into it.
Perfect. So I have been doing comedy now for about 9 years.
Damn.
Very long time.
Yeah. Jesus.
I started doing it in Humber. I went to the comedy writing and performance program.
Yep.
So through that's how I kind of like got into everything, got to dip my toe in each kind of like sort of avenue of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I kind of fell in love with stand-up, and I've been doing it ever since. So I went right out of high school, and in high school I did a bunch of theater and wrote a bunch of plays in drama class, and like always loved listening. Obviously, like I went to high school and oh my God, what was it? 2009 to 2012.
Nice.
So Dane Cook was like still pretty like,
The man.
Him and what was his name? Oh, the puppet guy.
Jeff Dunham. Yeah.
They were still pretty big, so they were my guys.
You're right.
Watch them all the time. I remember in grade 10, I did a careers project because we had careers class.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I was like, "A comedian." Like, play with Jeff Dunham clip to the class. Like, so embarrassing now. Like,
and they were like, "This guy's got it. He's got this bit with a chili pepper." Inspirational.
But he has like the old man, you know. Oh my God, yeah. Just then being like, everyone else being like, I want to be a dental assistant, or like real practical jobs where you can make like a 401k or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and then me coming up and being like, my dream,
I'm going to be a comedian.
I want to be one of the most annoying people I know.
I feel like everyone, like every creative person, I feel like has that like Batman origin story where like for me, it was I want to be a pro wrestler when I was a kid. So I did careers day and I was like, I want to be Triple H. Like I had the little fake belt. And I had the long hair, and I was like, "Yeah, I want to be Triple H. Like that's what I want to be when I grow up."
That's sick. That's awesome. I like literally have gotten into wrestling through the Dark Side of the Ring series.
Yeah,
that was so good.
So
just
good.
Like, it's amazing. I'm like terrified.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
Oh man, that is a rabbit hole. That's a rabbit hole that we don't want to. I've had like 4 wrestling episodes in a row. I can't.
Of course, yeah.
I can't go back. But no, that's cool. So did you find like you were getting a lot more into stuff in the like different stuff in the pandemic? Because I feel like people went kind of one of two ways. It was either people dove right back into like their comfort shows. Like I got really like way back into wrestling during the pandemic. And then other people were like, no, I'm going to branch out. Like, I'm going to get into wrestling. I'm going to get into, nerdy shit. I'm going to get into, I don't know, fucking sports or something. Like,
yeah, no, I definitely started to do things that I either didn't have time for before. Cause before the pandemic, I was like working full time and doing shows full time. And like any free time I had was either sleeping or going out to like see a person who was like a friend.
Yeah.
So I like took more time to myself and played like way more video games like than I had obviously previously, like huge Sims head, huge Animal Crossing fan, huge Guitar Hero freak, like, all those things. So I brought all that stuff back out and moved in with a wonderful person who we both love video games. So it's great that we like have connected off that.
Nice.
And then, obviously makeup and cosplay, and then got huge. So I was obviously a huge fan of cartoons and everything before the pandemic, and like followed a few of them, but had so many on my list I needed to watch. So through the pandemic, I watched all my cartoons. I watched a bunch of my animes I needed to watch.
Nice.
A bunch of reality TV shows, all those great things.
Love reality TV.
Crave is amazing for the fact they have so many old MTV dating shows. I'm like, oh, it's amazing.
That was my like Coke addiction throughout the pandemic was on Amazon Prime. You can get Stack TV, which had the Food Network. So I just went back to watch all these old random 1-season Food Network shows, and I was like, this is the life.
So good.
I never want to move.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it with like anime for me, where I was like, a bunch of series that were only a season long, and I was like, perfect.
Yeah,
Finish
yeah.
like put this on for a day and like just have a day of watching this, and then get too invested and be like, what? Doesn't have more.
Yeah, I want more. Yeah, that's the problem with the one season animes, because I'm a huge one season guy. I love shit that's one season. That's my ideal. I hate when my roommate gets me into it, because I'm not a huge anime guy, but my roommate is. So he'll be like, "Oh, the new season's out, and like there's this show that you'll like and this show that you'll like that we should watch."
Oh yeah.
And he's always right, but then he gets me into these fucking shows that are longer than a season. I was so pissed when he got me into My Hero Academia. And I was so pissed. The first season ended.
I love My Hero.
Oh, the first season ended, and I was like, it ends on like they all end on a cliffhanger, and I was like,
oh yeah,
oh cool. So next episode then, and he was like, oh no, there are none. You have to wait for the next season. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean I have to wait? I don't want to wait. I want to be done. I want the shackles gone.
Exactly. No, we like same, like me and a bunch of people I know were getting into certain shows at the same time too, and then watching it and then it ending, and then we would be like, okay, well now we have to read the manga, obviously.
Yeah.
Read the manga, but then we catch up, and now we're waiting for like all the weekly chapters to be released. So My Hero, the one, definitely we're always waiting for it to come out and just being like, oh, there's no new one this week. Great. Guess we'll just fuck me.
You know? I guess we just have to be sad this week.
Yeah, exactly. Even Demon Slayer, like it's slowly been releasing, but I've read it multiple times because I love it, and I know where it's going. But I'm always just like, no, I need the new episodes. So like, if it doesn't happen for a week, I don't know where I'm going. Like,
my roommates are the same way when we watch because they're manga people, so they read all the mangas and they're ready to go. And then I specifically am like, I want no spoilers. I just want to watch every episode. I want to make my little guesses because that's how I have fun. And so, like, we'll be sitting there watching the show, and I'll be like, oh, he's dead. He's turned evil. She's dead. She's dead. She's turned evil for sure. And they'll sit there and just be like, and every time I make a prediction, they both make eye contact and say nothing and look back at the screen. And I'm always like, I've started to, like, try and decode what their eye contact means. So I'm like, is that the Cole's right eye contact? Or is that the Cole's wrong eye contact?
Cole's never going to guess this.
Yeah.
I was so bad at that before. Just because like so many people I knew before the pandemic, like when I would watch stuff, they wouldn't watch it with me or wouldn't be interested in it. So I could just kind of like give spoilers or things away or be like, oh yeah, like, will you ever watch this? And like, no, absolutely not. I don't like cartoons.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So this thing happens. But then now that there are like so many people in my life who do watch it and are interested, like we live in like pages, or not pages, but like forums or things where you go and you like are like, here's some theories or like this stuff. I've had to get so much better at just like biting my tongue and not giving away like little spoilers, even too, like things I didn't even realize. If you're just like, oh, like just watch out for this character. It's like that's already so telling in itself. And it took me so long to actually get. I still slip up every once in a while, definitely, because I'm a little ding dong and I'm always just too excited. I'm like, have you got to this part yet? And people are like, no. And I'm like, oh, I just gave that whole part away. Guys. Yeah. So,
I'm the worst. Like, I am the worst for that. I will do that all the time. But luckily for everyone I'm friends with, I'm categorically shit at keeping up with TV. Like all of my friends, like I'm famous for, where they'll be like, oh, are you watching, you know, whatever the new show that everyone's watching is? And I'll be like, oh no, but like it's on the list. And then like 6 or 7 years later, when no one gives a shit anymore, I'll be like, hey, have you guys watched, like I'm just now watching Cowboy Bebop. And everyone's like, I'm like, have you guys, this is a fucking good show. Are you guys watching this? And they're like, yeah, it came out like 30 years ago. Like,
yeah, of course we've seen it.
Of course we've seen it. Like,
oh yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for the live action. I saw it's out today and I'm like,
yeah, you know what? I've seen a lot of people on Twitter shitting on it, but it looks so cool. Like just visually, it looks so cool. I don't know. I hope this doesn't get clipped out of context. Maybe it's the worst show on planet Earth, but it looks fucking rad.
Looks. I'm like, I don't know if I'm just on the wrong side of Twitter right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm just on the negative side of Twitter.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna start putting some red eyeshadow now, just on where like kind of the middle part of the eye is. So it's gonna go like kind of fade into the gray.
Love that.
So that way in the corner of the eye we can put some more orange as kind of like the head of the Pokemon.
Okay, I love that. I was about to look here where my monitor is to like use it as a mirror and forget that I have a fucking mirror literally in my hand.
Oh yeah.
Disaster.
Yeah, I'm always impressed with people who can do makeup while holding a mirror. Like I need one hand to steady me and one hand to do most of the work.
Oh, if it helps, I've just long accepted that my hands are too shaky for this. I
Oh,
have
fair.
awful, and it's funny because I did college. I did photography courses in college,
Oh, nice.
and they were like, "Oh yeah, as long as your hands aren't too shaky." And
It
literally,
should be
like my
fine.
hand is like I have like earthquake tremors.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
It's really bad. So I've long accepted this fate that
Uh-huh.
I have this curse.
Oh, yeah.
And if I
I
don't use
get
a
ya.
mirror, then I'm completely I'm absolutely lost, like a small
Oh,
child.
yeah. No, very understandable. I definitely feel that I have very, very shaky hands. So this whole process has been very interesting to learn how to use that and utilize it or
Yeah,
work around it, you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah. To find little tricks.
exactly.
I think that's one of the things that's so cool, especially about like makeup art, is it's still such a new medium relatively that there's so many
Definitely.
people who just come up with all these new and weird and different solutions. And I think it's so cool because people will get into it like you just kind of got into it sort of casually, and I'm sure now you have all these little shortcuts and little tricks that you've learned, and I think it's so great.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so interesting and cool. And yeah, again, like seeing how people do their makeup or do it in like uh yeah, like before the pandemic and stuff, we would always watch videos of people who would do their like, or I shouldn't say people, like drag queens doing their makeup or drag kings doing their makeup.
Hmm.
And like just seeing the way that people prep or like just get their faces ready and things, it's so cool.
Oh yeah, it's a
Or
whole
even the
process.
patterns they go in. Yeah.
And I feel like people don't think about it like to that extent of like, I'm sure it takes fucking hours.
Oh yeah.
Like, and it's so
Yeah.
many like layers on layers on layers, and it's like it looks exhausting. I could never.
Exactly. Even like so I mostly when I started doing this got into just eye makeup at the
Yeah.
beginning of it and was kind of like working with that and then obviously started to add things like gems or other little parts that I could add.
Hmm.
And it took me a while to start getting into the idea of like color matching or using color to get rid of well, I don't want to say like imperfections, but things on your face that you want to more necessarily hide. So
Yeah.
like even today I'm going to be using like one of my color matching palette or color concealing palette things. And like it took me so long to get into the idea of like yeah, like using greens to cover up reds or using pinks to make things
Yeah.
lighter. Like so it's fascinating and like it took me a while too to understand like yeah, getting the proper concealers or proper shades of oh yeah, foundation. There we go.
Right.
Yeah, it took so long because just like you said, like not being outside for so long,
Mhm.
and then being like, well, I used to get this kind of brand from this place, and I'm used to getting this kind of shade, but then your skin changes, and then
Yeah.
it changes. Like things I used to use now, I'm like, I can't use it. I'll break out immediately. Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember it's funny because I feel like the only advantage I ever had getting into like the first I don't remember the first because I was just doing a bunch of streaming and like YouTube stuff, and I was like, oh, we'll do makeup one day because I'm like bored. We've been inside for a month. I have nothing else to do.
exactly.
And I think the only thing that saved me from it looking, I mean, it looked like shit, but looking completely like shit is like a basic understanding of color theory. Like,
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
didn't have that, it would have just been an absolute train wreck.
Exactly. No, it took me so long to learn that, and then so long also to just like put it in practice or
Yeah.
put anything in, or the idea of blending or things like that. Because I would just be like, I don't know, I feel and I again used to use things that were not at all high quality makeup. They would just be like, I tried to use one palette the other day because I was like, oh, why not? I'll give it a try, and just
Yeah.
like nothing stayed on, like
Ooh,
nothing
yeah.
stayed on the eyeshadow, and I was like, that's why I didn't blend before, because if it did, it would just go away.
Yeah, it's funny that you don't think about stuff like that, right? Where it's like it's fine, at one point in your life, and then you like that you start thinking about it more, like doing more with it, and it starts to all fall away, and you're like, oh, well, this fucking sucks. Like, how did I ever use this? Like,
Exactly.
it's like as you get more and more into
That's
cooking, and you
weird.
like start noticing like, oh, like how do people cook with like dull knives or like the like shitty pans? And it's like you would have never thought of that unless you started getting more into cooking.
Exactly. Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely been great getting to find different companies and again through different artists and stuff online and seeing like, oh, there's so many different like brands out there that are really great and still affordable or really great and like will last you a long time.
Yeah.
Like, it's
So-
so great.
So how often are you looking up like tutorials for stuff? Like, are you still kind of actively seeking it out, or is it just if you stumble upon it, you'll watch it? Like, what's that kind of like for you?
Yeah, so like a lot of TikTok now, basically I'll just scroll and like I see a lot of makeup things every day. So as
Mhm.
soon as I see something that kind of inspires or gives inspiration, it's like, okay, save that,
Yeah.
keep it for another day. Like, because a lot of things like I know I can't fully copy or I
Right.
don't have the capacity to just, again, I'm not like a visually artist, definitely not my thing. I'm
Okay.
not good at drawing on paper. I'm not
Mhm.
good really at that. So when I see people doing things where it's like very like cool or artsy, I'm like, okay, well, I can't exactly do that, but I like the idea they're doing. So what could I do that's in my wheelhouse?
Yeah, you can
that's,
kind of
like,
nab
similar
little
or
pieces.
not? Exactly. So yeah, like a lot of like I saw people getting into the old like 70s styles of like the bigger eyeliner and the overall coverage of it. And like I was like, that's so cool, but like there's some I can't do. Like I don't have the fine enough hand skills to do all these little like weaving intricate, like sort of
Yeah.
beautiful patterns that I can see some people doing. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't have to do that. Like I can admire it. That's okay. I don't have to do it.
Well, and it comes with time too, right? Like I'm sure some of the like a lot of the people who are
Exactly.
doing it on TikTok are people who've been doing it, you know, every day for years and years, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, it's a skill, it's an art form. It's something that I try and talk, and I don't want to be like fucking the white knight of cis dudes who are into makeup, but like you know, it's something that I feel like people don't think about, that it's like anything. It's an art form. It's you know, it's a skill that people do, again, like I say, over and over and over again until it doesn't, like, you know, people aren't just born good at makeup. Like they don't just come out and they're
Exactly.
like, oh yeah, perfect wing, boom, you know.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous. So as a big white dude with a beard, I think it's my job to tell people that makeup is cool.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Incredible. So I'm going to start putting some more orange just kind of like in the corner and a little bit around the top to kind
Right.
of start blending. I was using a tiny bit of a darker orange this time, but if you want to use the same one, it will still definitely work.
okay. Let me see here. Let me take this, because I have like a brownie orange kind of situation here. So let's see.
Oh,
let's see
that
what
would be
goes there.
perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. So you say you've had people talking to you like about your Instagram looks. Do you get that like a lot? Like especially since comedy is like started back up again, have you gotten a lot of people going like and talking to you about it?
Yeah, definitely. A very surprising amount. I'm one of those people who like I used to be like everybody hates me or is against me, and then I started to
Right.
like COVID hit, and I was like, oh, no one's against me or anything. It's just that nobody really thinks about me at all because everyone's got their own
Yeah.
stuff going on. But it took me like actually going back out and seeing people to realize like people like not necessarily pay attention, but like are they obviously follow you and stuff on Instagram, but you don't realize they're like will see your stuff because of
Yeah.
algorithms or whatever. So I was having a few friends just being like, well, I've been seeing what you're doing and it's pretty cool. And I was like, you've been seeing what I'm doing? Like, what do you mean?
What do you mean you've been noticing the thing I'm doing? That wasn't for
Exactly.
you.
Like it's terrifying. But it's been very nice and very like positive. And I think it's like you said, like people are realizing like it is more of like a cool either hobby or an art form that people do, and like the time and effort that goes in sometimes is actually worth it or looks decent. So it's been very cool and very nice and very awesome.
Have you gotten any?
Yeah.
Have you gotten anyone like asking you for tips?
Luckily not yet. I'm one of those people where I always feel bad because like I can like kind of help explain stuff or things like that, but I also know that like my face isn't the same as somebody else's face. So
Right.
the way I do my eyeshadow would be different. Maybe someone else does their eyeshadow, or the way I contour is different than someone else would contour. I've just been finding people just kind of being like, oh, that's so great. Like, how much time do you spend on your face like every day? Or how much time is it to like, which is a very fair question because some of these looks do take a while and some take no time at all, which is like very fun. Like I've been able to pull a couple out in like half an hour, and then I've been
Love
able
that.
to pull some out in like 2 hours. So
Yeah.
it's like an interesting mix. Then of course, like the more into it I get, the more faster it becomes.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh yeah, if I'm in a real rush, I could do it like maybe in 20. Like
Damn.
see how fast it takes.
Nice.
Yeah.
The speed run. That's YouTube content right there. The Pokemon eye
Right?
makeup speed run. That'll make money.
Oh, definitely. I'm trying to think how fast. Now whenever I just do basic even ones now, it's like so much easier and nicer, and knowing what colors go where or how to
Mhm.
do what in certain ways has been like super, super helpful for me.
And we can all thank the Pokemon Company. Thanks,
Yeah,
Nintendo.
exactly.
What's the look that either took the longest or was the hardest to pull off?
Ooh, that one would be, which one was it? I think it was one of the legendary dogs.
Okay.
And it was either Entei or Reiku.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because I think it was Entei's, because I had to block out my brows,
Right.
but then draw yellow eyebrows over top to match the kind of like gold.
Yeah,
that
the
he
kind
had.
of crown situation he's got going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that took a really long time to do. And then I also had to get I had gems on my face for that one, but also in the pattern that was on his face. So getting that on, then to try to get a turtleneck over top of that, because I had to get the red appropriate and all that. And then for Reiku's, it was, I was trying to do a new style with my makeup for, that I now use in my drag when I do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also inspired off of Alucard from Castlevania.
Fuck.
So I was like spending so much time being like, this needs to be like perfect.
Yeah.
So slowly like drawing and matching and making sure it was fine.
Yeah.
So those two are probably the longest ones that I had to do. Because I was trying to think of the ones I did even this time around for Halloween, and they weren't too intricate, but they were decent enough.
What's the easiest one? Like, what's the one that you, maybe here's a better question, I think, actually. What's one that you thought was going to be like really, really hard, and then you just banged it in like half an hour and you're like, oh, sick. Looks good.
Yeah, definitely. The War Turtle one that I did today, I thought was going to take me like so long, especially with the white and the outlining. Because at first I was like, I'll just do white, and then I can probably like, do it a little bit. But when I had done it, I'm like, it just looked like a blob. It doesn't look like wings, or it doesn't look like a cloud. It doesn't look appropriate. Mm-hmm. So doing that and doing that outlining, I was just like, okay, like I'm gonna either, when you're in your mind, you're like, this is either going to take like 20 go throughs and it's going to be really thick, and you're going to just have to deal with it, or you're going to do it in a one line pass and it's going to be a miracle. And I was able to get it done in like a one line pass, and I was like, okay.
It looked so tight. Like I saw it, I was scrolling and I saw the design on it. I was like, holy fuck, that is so sick.
Thank you. Yeah, that one was definitely took me aback. I was like, okay, perfect. Done. Like, easy. Great.
It is funny that you say that. Like, I feel like there's so many things in life where you can kind of tell beforehand. You're like you say, either I'm gonna do in one, it's gonna be perfect, and I'm like never gonna be able to replicate it, or I'm gonna be sitting here crying for the next like 4 hours.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, yeah. The amount of times I'll try to do an eyeliner, and I'm like, okay, it's not perfect, but just do it a little bit thicker then. And then you do it a little thicker, but you make the exact same mistake. Now it's bigger, and it's just thicker, like then
and now a little thicker.
Your whole eye is just your eyeliner, and I gotta take it all
sealed
off.
shut with liquid
exactly,
liner.
Like it's awful too, because I find like I try to like take off my makeup and then wash my face and like put on moisturizer and things, because it takes a while to get some of it out.
Yeah.
And certain ones can like dye your eyelids if you leave them on for too long.
Yeah.
But like, so whenever I have to do that and like use a makeup wipe or something to just like wipe and restart, I find like it'll never look right. It always like there's some sort of residue or there's something left. Like, so I'm always like, I gotta get it done like perfect the first time. Otherwise I'm screwed.
I was because I did a lot of theater in high school too. And I was always famous for being the kid who would like, because we would do like 4 shows and then like 3 matinees or whatever. So the first matinee, I'd be like, okay, I'm putting on eyeliner, and this eyeliner is going to last me for like minimum 2 days. Like I'm just not showering for the next like 3 or 4 days. I'm going to smell like shit by the end of this, but I do not want to go through this over and over again.
Right, exactly.
So I'd be in like biology class, the raccoon eyes, because I'm like not sleeping. I'm like 3 coffees deep, just shitty smudged eyeliner, just like, I'm good.
for theater, it's fine.
Yeah. I'm not a school shooter. It's a theater. It's
Like
okay.
nobody talks about that either. Of like, I remember I did a lot of like shows with a theater company where they were like period pieces, but they were all in the 40s or 50s or 20s or like eras where you had to have like updos or curls or pin curls.
Yeah.
And nobody talked about how you like just couldn't wash your hair because it needed to stay greasy so it would hold. Otherwise you would just be like spraying your hair with hairspray for like hours before the show because it needs to stay. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh yeah, like I didn't even think of that. We were all teens too. So it's just like, ugh.
So everyone's just gross and sweaty and hormonal and not showering.
Exactly.
Awful.
It was like so awful. Like I'm just gonna get my brows outlined a little bit.
Ooh,
so
I got
where they are.
I forgot to actually check. I have this brow thing. Not that I fucking with my luxurious caterpillars, but I do have it. I think this is probably dry as a motherfucker, if I'm being honest with you.
Amazing. Yeah, I've been finding I really overplucked my eyebrows a while back.
Okay.
And so they've been growing back in, but because of that, they're never gonna look right again. So I always use a mix of like gel and then brow gel, and then I also use a pencil to like fill them out a little bit more.
I think that's the worst part about being single is that I have no one to help me with my eyebrows, because that's been a consistent in my life, and it's a great consistent. And I refuse to learn it because I support the patriarchy. It's one thing I refuse to budge on. I'm not going to do my own eyebrows.
I'm not gonna do it. No, that's very fair. Yeah, I'm at the point where I'm like, I should have never done my own. I should have let someone else do it.
That's the thing, is I
Maybe
know I'll
back in
fuck
the
it up.
day.
I know I'll fuck it up. And like, I'm the kind of person like, and the reason I know it is because like, I don't ever normally grow a beard. This is the longest time my beard ever. And so, because normally it gets to a point and then I'll try and shape it, fuck it up a little bit, and then just shave it all off.
Yeah.
And I know my little ADD ass would be sitting there trying to pluck my eyebrows and be like, no, this looks like shit.
Yeah,
and I would regret it immediately.
So you gotta get rid of it all.
Yeah, and that's the point where you shave your eyebrows off. Fuck, man.
Oh yeah,
There's no recovering.
The want for it, but the idea of having to actually draw them on every day.
Yeah, right.
Like it's already enough where I'm like they're barely visible. Like a little nauseous sometimes. Like it's fine. Like
I had a friend who was like, I'm gonna shave my eyebrows off, and I was like, no, you're not. And they're like, no, yeah, I'm going to, because I'm just gonna draw them on every day. It's gonna be totally fine. And I was like, listen, I'm your friend, and I love you, and I'll support you in whatever you do. But I need you to know, if you shave your eyebrows off, I'm never taking you seriously ever again. Like, you could come up to me and be like, Cole, I killed a man. And I'd be like, but you also don't have eyebrows. Like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I cannot take anyone seriously who just doesn't have eyebrows. I'm sorry. It's a problem. Again, the patriarchy is strong. It's nothing I can do about it, man.
exactly.
All right. So my eye looks like a Picasso painting, but yours is looking fabulous. So
thank you.
we're getting there. We're
doing it. It looks pretty good though on your end too.
Thank you. It's just very colorful. It's all camera tricks.
Amazing. So I'm gonna start putting my eyeliner on now, and I'm just gonna do like a longer, I guess it's cat eye. I like never really know what the difference between any of them really is, but I always like to start too from like the corner. I learned this trick on TikTok was
love this.
You start like from the corner and you kind of go up to where you want it to be. And then you work your way like backwards so you can keep your point and like, yeah, right? Because I used to always do it from the inside to the out.
Yeah, and then you'd fuck it up a little bit, right?
Exactly, but everyone's like, no, start from your corner, and then you like just make kind of like a triangle, and then you work your way.
These goddamn Zoomers.
Yeah. Right? Just like teaching me, and I'm like, wow, the youth of today.
Dude, it's crazy that the millennials, we're useless, man. We're
oh, yeah.
This is my new theory. This is my tinfoil hat. We're fucking useless. We're the forgotten generation, and we deserve to be forgotten. That's my hot take.
Oh yeah.
The Zoomers are
like
already so much useful.
Exactly. We were just like the testers after the baby boomers, basically.
Yeah. The baby
just to
boomers,
be like, look.
they had the Gen Xers. The Gen Xers made a bunch of funny and incredibly unfunny TV. that the millennials then copied and made shittier, and then the Zoomers made TikTok. We're unnecessary.
Exactly. We were like the peer pressure generation almost too. Of like we wanted everyone to think we were so cool, and a lot of the thing, like even like thinking of, I can't remember, I think it was Patrice O'Neill was doing an interview with somebody, and they just were doing that comedian thing that like a little while back where when Flight of the Conchords got really big, and everyone was like, oh, they're funny because they seem like they don't care, instead of, no, they're funny because they write really good jokes and then sing, right? Like, so everyone was doing that, like, I don't give a fuck kind of like comedy. And so this guy's like interviewing Patrice, just being like, oh, so like, what are you doing here? And Patrice is like, you know what, fuck this. No, like, what are you doing? Like, this isn't funny. Like all you guys coming out here pretending you're Flight of the Conchords. You're not Flight of the Conchords. Stop being this way. And it was like, oh my God.
Called out. I love that.
Right? I love it. That's why I love Norm Macdonald so much too, because like he just said it as it was. Like the interview of him doing the YouTube award ceremony, and he is just having a time. Like he is there only for himself, and I love it.
So was there a lot? Did you watch a lot of comedy before you got into comedy, or was it something that you kind of like stumbled into and then kind of retrospectively or retroactively got into? There it is.
Yeah, so I actually didn't realize how much comedy I did watch, like growing up, or even like even now sometimes I keep forgetting that I still watch it and things like that. But like when I was younger, I would always watch Mad TV because it would always just be on MTV for some reason.
The classic.
Yeah, so that I thought was always so funny, and then through that, obviously SNL and all that, because I think they also played it on that station for, it was Comedy Network, I think was playing it at some point or something. But yeah, I would always watch Comedy Network growing up. I would always watch like Just for Laughs or things like that too. Like it was one of those things where when I got into it, I realized how affected my whole life had been by it.
Yeah.
And especially, like certain comedians of being like, oh my God, yeah, I remember that guy, or oh my God, I can't believe I forgot about this person, like actually inspiring me to be doing this now. Like,
yeah. Every once in a while, I'll see a name and I'll be like, why do I know that name? And I'll Google it and it'll be like the Just for Laughs from like 2004. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I remember that. Oh,
exactly.
Man.
And just like Canadian comedy too is such an interesting realm of people I had grown up seeing on TV, I'm now working with, or I know, or I'm personal friends with. Like, it's so, like, if I told like the 11-year-old version of myself what I'm doing now and who I have done shows for or with or have traveled with, I feel like I would lose my mind and be like, how'd you do that? Like, but then you get into it and you're like,
pull this off?
Yeah, like, how did we do it? I don't think you want to know. Just keep your imagination. Like,
you'll get there. Hey, don't worry.
Don't want to break the illusion of we're all just in this together and the Canadian arts are poorly funded. You know?
Oh my God, it's so funny. Like, you don't realize it until you're in it, and then it's like, oh, what are all these people? Like, you guys are famous, and they're like, eh.
Yeah, right. It's like, wait, you guys are also living with roommates? And they're like, yeah. Why? Like, rent's expensive.
Yeah, they're like, because we also live in Toronto. Like, we don't live in like. There's not a different Toronto. Like, we still all live in Toronto.
Exactly.
Have you traveled at all for comedy at all? Like, you gone to Montreal or anything like that?
Yeah, so I've been all over Southern Ontario to do shows and things like that. And I traveled down to Syracuse, New York, where I did a show a while back now, 6 years ago or something.
Yeah, a little while ago.
Yeah, exactly. I've been to Niagara Falls. I've been to Hamilton. I like to try to pop by in it because like it's such a great little town for comedy, and everyone there is so sweet. But yeah, I do love traveling. Actually, when I started doing comedy, because I went to Humber, I lived in Etobicoke and I had a car, so I was able to go and do like the kind of like Southern Ontario little circuit, and we do London, Hamilton, Kitchener-Waterloo, Brantford, Brampton, like all those kind of spots. And I was really grateful from that I made some great connections that when I came into Toronto, I got to still see people who I would see out of town here because they would just always have gigs or be coming to support, which was like super nice.
Right.
But I do like it. I really, when people talk about there being differences between like Toronto crowds and out of town crowds, they're very correct about that. Like, it's just every crowd's different wherever you go. And it's just nice to get to like try to see what they want or see how you can play it out.
Oh yeah, it's
see if they'll like you, you know?
It's funny too, because I feel like, especially when you're starting out, you don't realize like why the crowds are so different. But it's literally like you'll go to Hamilton, you'll try and make a joke about like public transit, and they're like,
yeah, no
what?
idea.
We all drive here, dude. Like, this is literally Hamilton.
Exactly. Oh yeah. But it's
Oh.
very, very fun, very cool.
Very, very fun, very cool, very exciting. Speaking of, what do we have left?
Right. So now all we have to do is I'm going to use the foundation and concealer to just clean up all the red spots and things on my face.
Yep,
and
of
then
course.
I'm going to use a little eyebrow brush after that eyebrow pencil, just to fill in my eyebrows because they're still not fully there. But yeah, so concealers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little, so I was talking earlier about the little like color matching things. So I'm going to use my little guy here and just kind of like cover up some of my more red areas.
Oh, so it literally is like a separate colored concealer that covers us. That's so sick. Man,
right?
Makeup's fucking so cool, dude. I can't believe I went so long being like toxically masculine. Fuck football, dude.
Yeah,
football
the more you
sucks.
think of it as like art for your face,
yeah.
I guess, is like how I think so many people have started to accept it and stuff. And again, like we're watching a show called Dragula right now, and it's just all horror drag stuff, which is really cool. And like people doing things you wouldn't expect them to be, but it's art and fashion and like cool. And you're like, oh, how do you make like a zombie whose like body is festering look so good? Like it doesn't make sense.
How do you become a sexy zombie? The people need to know.
Exactly. It's so cool. It's just amazing to see, even like cosplays and stuff too, the way people will like take ideas and make their own characters or make their own versions. Or I know there's one TikToker, I can't remember her name. I think it's Love Bunny Cosplay or something, but she's been doing a series with the crown from Mario.
Sick.
Where they just like goes on all these different characters, and then they make a different character outfit. So they've done like Boo and Toadette and like all those sorts of ones, but more like fancy. And I think that's absolutely incredible too. Just like you're kind of creating your own narrative and story and characters, and it's taking off. Like they're very popular, so that's awesome.
It was a dangerous time to be on Twitter when that crown first dropped. It was a dangerous time to be on Twitter because you'd be scrolling at work and it's like, oh shit, that's just porn. That's just
we go.
There was never more porn on the timeline than when that fucking crown dropped.
Oh yeah. Just rule of 34 everywhere.
And I was like I'm no prude, but come on, I just want to scroll Twitter.
There's gotta be a line.
Yeah. After the Shy Guy happened, I was like, come on, guys. Like, we have to draw some lines.
Yeah, we gotta stop this.
How many minor Super Mario characters are we willing to objectify to reach our means?
Exactly.
So is cosplay something like that you see yourself getting more and more into, like the more elaborate cosplays, or are you gonna stick more into the makeup realm? What are you thinking going forward?
Yeah, so I definitely want to dive more into the cosplay realm. I have a few from My Hero that I'm planning to do that I'm waiting to come in, which is awesome. But there's definitely, I've started to realize, I'm like, there's just some characters where like I don't have to do so many all the time. Like I can just bring some back or keep some for like cons and things like that. So there's just, I've just been kind of like, okay, well, what are a few that I would want to have and keep and want to be doing over and over again. So like, that's kind of where I'm now like at. And it's also a question too now of I do have wigs and things like that, but it's when you're styling wigs and how long it takes to style said wigs and the time and effort. And then after it's done, sometimes you can't even use it again. So like,
it's especially
do like it. It's just, a big investment. So I definitely, if I do have the means and can dive more into it, I would absolutely love to.
Yeah.
But yeah, the makeups for now are absolutely great and like a great way to even just practice getting some things that I might be able to use for cosplays later on as well. but I'm having fun with it so far. And again, would love to just go to a con, do it, and be around people doing it. Just to be like, okay, is this something I want to keep doing? Am I not actually good at it? Like,
Hey, you know what? I think if there's one thing I'll say about the cosplay community, I find it's very newbie friendly. It has its problems for sure, but it's I find very newbie friendly. I find they're very much the kind of people to be like, oh, you made a sword out of duct tape and plywood? Fuck yeah, man. Come hang out. Like, that sounds cool.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It seems to be very, like very open. And again, like, even just from the brief interactions I've seen from people online or things like that, like, since a lot of people who are older have been getting, like, I say older, I'm like 27, but that's not like
these old farts, us mid 20-year-olds.
That's kind of how it feels, right? So I was like, well, like, this was something I would have liked doing. And if I was a kid and like had the means or because that's what I realized too. I was like, it's not the fact of like, there was definitely part of me that's like, oh, I want to do it, but like, what would people say? But also like, what would people say if you don't have the highest quality of stuff as well? You know? And like, I've been finding now, especially through TikTok and online content and Twitter and everything, that I'm seeing more people just celebrating any kind of cosplay that people do. So it doesn't matter if it's not the highest quality. If you put time and effort into it and it looks beautiful, of course you're going to get praised for it. Like,
hopefully. I mean, like, and I find that TikTok, I was talking about this with another cosplayer, episode, what the fuck episode am I on? The episode before this one, probably, that you're, fuck it, whatever, fuck you, go listen to the other episodes. We were talking about how TikTok has helped, like, forge a lot of communities, especially in I think it dropped or popped off really at the perfect time because, everyone was just bored doom scrolling on their phones. And then TikTok shows up and is like, what up, motherfucker? You want a new hobby? I got
you want to see people doing stuff you can do? Like,
you want to get back into fucking my doom scroll on TikTok right now is I get to like TikTok, skateboard TikTok. And I'm like right back in 06 again. And I'm just like, fuck yeah. I'm just scrolling through like the same 4 Blink-182 songs of people doing kickflips, and I'm like, this is my ideal life.
Heaven.
I'm back, baby. Oh god, it's like I never left.
Oh my god, yeah. When they all got really into Paramore on there, and like Misery's Business was playing like on every single one, I was like, oh yes, good. Yeah, this is how it should be.
This is my ideal. This is my ideal timeline. Is everyone just playing Paramore and all the music I liked when I was like 13.
Right? Even this was so long ago when they were doing the I'm Just a Kid challenge thing with Simple Plan. I was like, oh, it's so funny. Like, just all these songs of our youth where we were like, this is so serious. Like,
I am a kid and my life is a nightmare.
Is a nightmare. Yeah, exactly.
It's so true. Oh god, I remember when I was a kid, I was such a cringy little bastard. I used to listen to. Oh my
god, yeah.
I was a Fall Out Boy kid before Thanks for the Memory and Just Dance.
God, yeah.
I was a Saturday type kid. Nice. And going back to it now, I'm like, I still love old Fall Out Boy because the emo boy never dies. But also, I look back on it, I'm like, man, I had never even fucking said 2 words to a girl, and I was like, that bitch broke my heart.
You guys are right. Like, oh, I feel that. I love Fall Out Boy still. Oh my god. Patrick Stump is my angel.
Man, no one ever talks about Patrick Stump, I feel like.
No one talks about Patrick Stump.
All the love goes to Pete Wentz. Yeah. Even
the control he has.
He had that solo album that came out, I want to say, like maybe 3 years ago. And it was really good. I liked it a lot. It was better than New Fall Out Boy.
He did a bunch of covers at one point, too, and they were all really great.
Yeah.
He's just got... I always tell people, like, his vocal control is ridiculous. Like, the trills and stuff he can do, like, just always going up, down, up, down, up, down. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Much love.
Unheard of.
Much love. This is a Patrick Stump, though. Fuck Pete Wentz. I'm pretty sure Pete Wentz is an asshole, too, so fuck Pete Wentz.
Exactly. But yeah, I like love them. I love Mayday Parade.
Classic.
Oh, my God. Who else? Millionaires. They were popular at one point. With me and my friend group. So fun. But yeah, like hearing it now and seeing people like making like silly TikToks and stuff to things now, and you're just like, oh my god, like it's so funny to see the different disconnect from our, like, I'll say my generation of people who like really took things seriously and were like, no, like this is all very like to now everything is a joke. Art. Like everything's a joke.
Yeah. Oh my god, my little cousin. I think she's. I mean, Jesus Christ, she's probably like 16 now. God, I'm made of dust.
Oh wow.
She got a Walkman for I think it was her birthday when she was like 12. Like her mom gave her old Walkman, like all her old CDs.
Oh nice.
So she came to the family reunion, like the I think it was like a Christmas reunion or whatever. And she's like, Cole, guess what? I got a Walkman. I was like, what the fuck do you mean you have a Walkman? Like, you have a cell phone. Why the fuck would you want a Walkman? A cell phone doesn't skip on the bus when you hit a weird rock. Like, why the fuck would you? Walkman sucked. We all hated them. We only used them because we needed to.
Yeah, we had no other way to play our Avril Lavigne CDs.
Yeah. Oh my God. I played, what was it? White Stripes Elephant. Just fucking on repeat on my on my brother's old shitty Walkman. It would skip the third song every single time. But she's like going through all that. She's like, I listen to, I'm listening to Convict fucking and like old Eminem and like, and I was like,
my God.
What? She's like, all these old songs, like, Fall Out Boy. And I was like, yeah, the retro hits, man. Yeah, fuck, Jesus. Oh, God.
I know, right? Yeah. I worked with kids for so long, too. And just like, I remember Can't Stop the Trolls movie came out and the kids were losing it because they Can't Stop the Feeling song. And I would just be like, oh, yeah, I remember when Justin Timberlake was in NSYNC. And they're like, what's that? And
yeah.
Like,
and you're just like,
who's that? And I'm like, the one singing the song right now?
Yeah. I never.
And then
feel
obviously
older.
you're like, oh yeah, he's a piece of work, but
yeah, I never feel older than when I go on TikTok and you see the put a finger up or put a finger down challenges where it's like punk music and it's music from like 5 years ago and they're just like classic and I'm like,
I saw someone the other day who was they're like, I was born in 97 or something. It's like I've never heard of these songs and it was like Venga Boys and like S Club 7 and like things where I was like, I feel like this still plays in the grocery store. Like there was no way you haven't heard freaking like Had a Bad Day by like Daniel Potter or whatever. I can't remember. Is that his name?
I think so. Anyone who says they haven't heard that is lying. That's my tinfoil hat. It's my conspiracy theory. They're lying.
But yeah, it's just so wild of like, oh my God, like so many things are changing. Like
well, it's the different, like people listen to music differently now too, right? Like when we were kids, it was like whatever was on the radio is what you listened to. Like unless you had like one of the special Walkmen that had 3 CDs in them or whatever, like you were listening to the radio, brother, and it was like Nickelback and it was fucking Stained and
Matchbox 20.
Matchbox 20, Theory of a Dead Man, like that's all you were allowed to listen to if you wanted to listen to fucking hard rock, brother. Like
oh yeah, exactly.
Or you'd have to listen to censored rap on the radio. These kids don't even understand. These little fucking Zoomers.
God, yeah.
They don't even.
It's like, don't they just kind of like dull it? Or now they have clean versions that they already write for the radio. But like, he didn't have that. Like,
they'll never understand.
There was no way people were going to be like, okay, fine, I'll write a clean version of like hit 'em up style. Like,
yeah. I was trying to explain this to my cousin where I was like, you don't understand because like you don't fucking listen to the radio. But back in the day, like. You would listen to like Smack That would come on the radio and half the words were gone. It was muted. Eminem showed up and he would just be like, Eminem. And it would just be like.
You're losing service from how much it would be.
Yeah, it would be like you're losing bars and you're just like, what the fuck's wrong with the radio?
Yeah, like, are we, but we're in the city and it's like, yeah, no, it's just Eminem. No.
It's just that Eminem, man. It's just, he's not. It was so wild. It's so wild looking back on it now that we have like, even I think Sirius XM gets to play uncensored music now. So it's like the kids will never know. They'll never know the struggle. These damn kids
never fully understand.
Get off my fucking lawn. My
it
radio
feels like
lawn.
that thing of like, because I was like the oldest sibling in the house for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that thing of like, you couldn't get away with certain things, but then you would see your younger siblings being able to get away with it, and you're like, why do they get? Why I had to go through all that stuff? Like, it's like that with like the new generation of like, yeah, you guys are hilarious, and I absolutely love you, and like everything you're doing, but like, we didn't have the ability to be this funny. Like,
yeah. It's like all these little 15-year-olds are making money on YouTube, and you're like, fuck. I want to do that. Fuck.
Like, God, I wish like. And like going on to people like on TikTok or just like 18 or 17 and then like traveling to LA because they're getting like what are the like contracts and things, and you're just like, what the hell? Like, how'd you do that just from like popularity? That's unheard of. Like in our day, if somebody offered you that over the internet, was like, hey, come collaborate with me for some videos, you reported that person on MSN.com. Like,
yeah, damn right.
I was like, never, you didn't, or if you did go meet with people online, you never let people know about it because like, not cool.
You hit someone up with the MSN knock on the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
The Stone Cold classic. The oh god,
sending gifts before they were gifts.
Yeah, like, what are they, winks or something like that?
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Man. Oh,
so funny.
Have you heard of? There's a game on Steam. It's called Emily is Away, and it's like a text-based game, but it's basically they made it to design like an old chat room, like it's like old MSN, and they have like, so like you can go to the different characters like bios, and it'll like, it changes during like the different phases of the game, and like you can like keep checking, and like stories will keep going. They'll have links, they'll have like MySpace links to YouTube videos, and they recreated old YouTube and old Facebook for this game.
Oh my god.
It's so cool. It's like $5. Cool. It might be one of my favorite games of all time. I think it's so sick. It'll be like one of the, because it's it's basically like a text-based like romance sim, basically like a
oh, okay, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And one of the girls that you can, or I think it's all very gender ambivalent, but one of the people you can romance is like a pop punk person, and the music, you click on it, it takes you to like, they recreated 2006 YouTube, and it's just like a Census Fail song, and you can just sit there and listen to the entirety of the Census Fail song. And I was like, this is made for me. This game was tailor-made for my nostalgia specifically, and I love this.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's how'd you all know?
Yeah, I was like, oh man, this is the greatest thing of all time. So, I think we can safely say, I think we look fabulous.
Absolutely.
Equally, I would argue.
Exact same, like looking in a mirror.
Yeah. I think we've basically, like you say, looking in a mirror, we look exactly the same. It's like the trend on TikTok with the filter that makes your face into either a dude face or a girl face. I don't remember what the yassifying, whatever the Zoomers are calling it. That's what this is. We are the yassified versions of each other. This has been a fucking delight. I feel like I could literally sit here and talk. I say this every episode, but I feel like I could sit here and talk like forever and ever and ever, especially about 2006 nostalgia and Pokemon. But we are getting near the end of our show. We're running down, and we're getting to the point, my favorite part of the show. It's the reason this show exists. It's called the lightning round. I should get sound effects. Note to self. So welcome to the lightning round. It's the final segment of our show. What is going to happen here is I have compiled a list of this or that questions from the internet. I'm going to put 1 minute on a timer, and we're going to get through as many of these questions as we can before the timer runs out. I'm going to compare your answers to the answers that I already have up here in my dome, and we're going to see how close we have become to being best friends. Sarah, are you ready?
I'm ready. Okay,
let me grab this piece of paper. Let me grab this pen. Let me fucking clear some space. This is gonna work. Sweet. Awesome. Okay. Questions are here. Timer is here. All right. I have my timer ready. I have my questions ready. If you're ready to go, I'm ready to go.
Ready to rock.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1. TV or movies?
TV.
Delivery or sit down?
Delivery.
Board games or card games?
Ooh, board games.
Video games or books?
Video games.
Cars or trucks?
Cars.
Buses or trains?
Trains.
Paperback or ebook?
Paperback.
Summer or winter?
Ooh, winter.
Yeah. Country or city?
City.
Broccoli or green beans?
Broccoli.
Beaches or mountains?
Ooh, mountains.
Soda or juice?
Soda.
Cheese pizza or pepperoni?
Cheese.
Toilet paper goes over or under?
Over.
Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Fuck yeah, waffles. Morning or evening?
Evening.
Love or money?
Oh no, how do I answer this? Let's say money. Why not?
Fuck yeah, secure the bag. That is 1 minute gone. I love the panic that comes from love or money. It's my favorite question.
Because it's the thing if you're like, do I want to answer like or do I want to answer truthfully? And it's like, at the end of the day, what's the thing?
At the end of the day, money will never leave you. And that's a fact. That's an OldKingCake fact.
Yeah, or if it leaves you, it's for something maybe you love. So
like cocaine. Speaking of God, I wish we had sponsors. What a segue that would have been. Sarah, I am going to take this time to compile your answers, do a little calculation, a little bit of math, and figure out how close we are to being best friends. While I do that, this is your time. I want you to take this time to shout yourself out, put all your social media links out there, what you're up to, and tell the people where they can find you on the internet.
Yeah, for sure. So you can see me all around Toronto. I've been going to be performing kind of everywhere and anywhere. Coming up, I'm actually going to be doing my music comedy show with my co-producer, Rash Kazi, and we are doing a comedy mixtape. It's back at this new venue called Mandy's Bistro, which is in the East End, and it will be happening December 2nd at 8 o'clock. I'm trying to think of what else. You can catch me on social media on Instagram at Sarah and Ashby. And you can also find me at Twitter at SmashB17. I post a lot of weird stuff on there. I post a lot of weird stuff on Instagram too. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. You can find me on YouTube. Just look up Sarah Ashby. I've got some comedy songs. I've got stand-up sets. And then you can also find me on TikTok at Smashers17. Again, also post weird, silly stuff on there, as well as kind of extra stuff for cosplays and makeups and all those kinds of things. I'm trying to think if there's anywhere else. I'm going to be at a comedy bar quite a bit. I'm going to be there November 28th for a Rainbow Roast at 7 p.m. So yeah, it's going to be a good time.
I gotta ask, what the fuck is that social media? What is Smasher 17?
So when I was younger and would go to our summer camp, I was a counselor there, and obviously we would have get-togethers afterwards, and you get a little tipsy or silly, or you get very smashed. And because my last name is Ashby, Smashby was my nickname all the time. So that's kind of where it was born from.
That's so sick. That's like the quintessential online handle. I adore that. Holy shit. I want to thank you so much for being on the show. I want to tell you that you have scored in our lightning round, the very important, very mathematical lightning round. You have scored a grand total of 13 out of 17, which is a bananas high score. Possibly one of the highest scores we've ever had.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Which mathematically proves, of course, that we've just become best friends. I want to thank you so much for being on the show. I want to thank everyone at home who's watching. If you're watching here on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I keep saying it, firm handshakes. We've made this deal, you and I. If I get to 100, I get the custom URL, and then I shut the fuck up forever. Boom. No more plugging the YouTube. I don't give a shit past 100. I don't. I just want a custom URL. So help me get to there by like, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. It's really helpful. Also, if you listen to the audio-only version of this, on whatever your podcatcher of choice is, make sure to give us a review of an above average amount of stars. Because I keep hearing you're not allowed to just tell people to give you 5-star reviews anymore. I don't know if that's true or not. But to play it safe, give us an above average amount of stars would be lovely. Make sure to follow our guest Sarah Ashby at Sarah and Ashby on Instagram and SmashB17 on Twitter. It's so sick. If you want to follow me, you can do that at OldKingCake on literally every social media. The brand is so incredibly strong. I want to thank our best friends, Isabel Wing, for the intro to our show, Let's Be Best Friends, and Seth Feldman for the outro. That's all the time we have for this week. So remember that your mom was your best friend at one point, so give her a call, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thank you so much.